We got some album anniversaries today.
Yeah, I know a lot of anniversaries. I'm trying to find a good rock album since we're doing a rock.
Linkin
You got-
Park,
Ah,
Meteora, that came out today.
thank you, thank you.
I got all them shits. Ironically, Linkin Park, Dipset, Life After Death, all came out today.
Okay, well, since it's a rock, we'll just talk about the Linkin Park album because I do like the Meteora. I think Meteora was probably my favorite album
Meteora,
from them.
yes, yes,
That's
that's my
probably
favorite.
my favorite album.
Yes,
That was a dope breakdown we did too. To be real with you,
definitely. I was in heaven.
but I
Might not
hear
get
what you're
another rock review like that.
saying.
So you might not get another rock review like that ever.
You never know.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I'll text you more shit. I'll hear what you're saying though. But so this whole Miss Jones, she blew up on you on fucking IG or some shit.
She got mad because she got this bitch got mad because I said she's a disciple of Wendy Williams. What lies am I telling?
I
You know
could
what I'm
have sworn they
saying?
both. I could have sworn they both came out around the same time. I'm gonna be real.
Nah, Wendy was out before. She was out
Wow.
before. She just wasn't a gossip queen until like the mid 90s. But she was like Wendy was out doing her thing for a long time. You know what I'm saying? It's like Charlemagne is a direct disciple of her. Angela Yee, a direct disciple of her. You know what I mean? They when you want to hear what's trending and now with celebrities, that's who you go to because that's all they talk about. Miss Jones was the same one last year, I believe, or year before last, that said, "Oh, she had a threesome with Tupac and Money Love called her a liar." Now, why are you bringing old shit like that up after like 20 something years when Pac has been dead? Because you want people to know about it. So that's not journalism. That's why I said Angie is a better journalist than her, and that's facts. People go to Angie for the big interviews. They don't go to Miss Jones. What has she done? You had two hit songs when she came out in '93. Everybody thought she was Dougie Fresh girlfriend. Hey, come on,
Oh wow. Oh wow.
you know what I'm saying? She had two hit songs, and people remember you on Sugar Hill. That's it. You know, fucking
That's my
legend. I ain't giving her no flowers.
that's my fucking joint though. Shit. I wanna be sugar. Yeah.
Obviously she felt some type of way because if it wasn't true, why are you responding to me? Who am I to you? So the truth hurts deep, obviously. Angela Lee, same thing with her. She all she does is gossip about shit. You know, Angie don't do that. She's never done that. That's true journalism. I think people nowadays they get in journalism confused. Talking about fucking Blueface and Krayshawn is not journalism. And what Soldier Boy had to say on his live stream, that's not journalism. That's the main reason why I left that platform that I a couple of months ago. You can't call yourself nostalgia and you want to talk about trendy shit.
Exactly. Hey yo. Hey yo.
That's it.
Let me check something downstairs right quick, and I'll be
All
right
right.
back. I'm just gonna wait for a few more people to come on. Give me like 2 seconds, all right?
Mm-hmm. Life was good.
Yeah. Yeah, Miss Jones should be glad somebody's recognizing her. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like if you don't feel like you a descendant of Wendy Williams, why would you even answer me then?
Exactly.
Obviously, she must have heard that shit before. You know, if somebody calls out Drake and says Drake is whack, Drake is ignoring motherfuckers. He ain't going back and forth with niggas. You know,
That's just crazy as hell. So I'm thinking about reviewing the movie Roadhouse. I'm thinking about reviewing that movie.
boy,
You saw what?
oh boy,
What?
oh boy. Roadhouse. Which one? The new one or the OG?
Um, I'm gonna start off with the OG first because I've never actually seen the
Okay.
movie with you.
OG is a classic. And what's crazy is the new one is doing better numbers than the OG.
That's how it always be.
I'm like, that's big for a new generation because they wasn't around to see the OG one, but the new one is definitely not better than OG. You know, I was gonna do a quick thoughts video on that, and then I was like, do I want to really waste 5 minutes of my life? Do I want to waste 5 minutes of my birthday to do this shit? You know, is it worth it? Cause I don't think a lot of people are gonna see it. I don't know how they saying that it's doing good at the theater. I'm like, that has to be because of the new generation, because they wasn't around to watch the OG one, but that shit is not good.
Sometimes you just have to leave the classics alone.
Right. Just leave it alone. No, who asked for a reboot of Roadhouse? Nobody asked for that. Just like they ruined House Party and they ruined White Man Can't Jump. They just ruining all our childhood movies. What's next? They're gonna do E.T. over?
Oh God.
But enough was enough already. Like they had a strike. Maybe they need to go back on strike. No more reboots.
Seems like Hollywood still have not learned their lesson.
Just leave it alone. Jay Gyllenhaal did that for a check. Cause he checked out of that movie. He was not interested in doing that.
All right.
And
I'm ready. Oh,
Co-
go ahead.
Colin McGregor cannot act. Conor McGregor cannot act. He was not great. All he did was walk around naked, like showing his ass. Like, I'm like, what is this? That's what they casted him for.
I guess Diddy was behind the movie.
Yo, what is this?
I'm ready to start whenever you are, bro.
Let's go.
What's up, you two? How's everyone doing this lovely, lovely, lovely day? It's your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
Yo,
Before I start, got a few things. First of all, today is Try's birthday, so everybody wish Try a happy birthday. You know what I'm saying?
thank you.
Another born
Blessed.
year. Um, Also on March 25th, because I know we're not going to do a review on Monday. We're going to highlight Linkin Park with their second album, Meteora, that came out
Yeah.
March 25th, 2003. This album, we briefly talked about this on the discography breakdown we did on Linkin Park, but I feel like that's one of the best breakdowns we've ever done. You know what I'm saying? So the thing with this album, it came out like I think 3 years after their debut, Hybrid Theory, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? This album definitely had more of like a darker kind of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? It's actually the first Linkin Park studio album to feature Dave Phoenix for after he joined the band in 2000. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the songs on this album was just talking about emotions and suicide and just coming to be and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? So I personally feel like this is probably my favorite Linkin Park album. You know what I'm saying? An album I need to get in my collection. I love songs like Somewhere I Belong, Faint, Breaking the Habit is my joint, though. That's my joint right there. So what do you think about this? Oh,
Classic. My favorite Linkin Park album. You know, that was at a time when I was like getting heavy into like the new metal rap rock genre with Limp Bizkit and Korn. You know, Linkin Park was just great. You know what I'm saying? Chester Bennington, like he's like one of those singers where anything that he sang, like his lyrics, he made you feel his pain and what he was going through. And a great leader for that group. You know, rest in peace to him. And so many hits on here from Numb and Somewhere I Belong, Faint, and that's a great album. Now, see when you get the album, the OG copy has documentary, because it's like one of those like specially enhanced CDs. So when you put it in your laptop, the documentary of the album comes up, like how they were in the studio, working on the album, and I believe there's a video also on here for one of those songs. But they have like the documentary of the making of the album on here. So yeah, like I love Linkin Park. You know, hopefully they drop new music at some point. Just a great album.
Definitely a great album indeed. Alrighty. So the album that we are going to talk about today is Queen. This is their, I want to say this is their fifth studio album, A Day at the Races, that came out December 10th, 1976. I actually recently bought this album last week, so this is another album I'm showing you guys in my collection. I know I said I was not going to show the albums in my collection, but you know what? I was like, this is definitely the right occasion for it. I was actually surprised I saw this album in stores because this is like one of those Queen albums that was just pretty rare on CD and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful I got this album. Singles I was known for Somebody to Love, Tie Your Mother Down, excuse me, Tio Toriet, Let Us Cling Together, which that was a Japan only single. More on that later. Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy and Long Away. This came out on EMI, which was under Elektra Records. Excuse me. Oh my God, that is so embarrassing. The only guest appearance on this album was Mike Stone, who was pretty much at that time like their engineer and shit like that. And in case you guys were living under a rock, the guests of people who consist of Queen are Freddie Mercury, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon. So like I said, we're doing an artist Sunday on Queen. Last week we did A Night at the Opera last week, which people have said that's like pretty much like their best album. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not mad about that because I know they had Bohemian Rhapsody, all that shit. I feel like they had a bit more better albums than that. We'll talk about that, but that's definitely among their greatest. So after the release of A Night at the Opera, you know what I'm saying? So, excuse me, that album was like very successful in the UK and was very successful in the US as well too, and whatnot. So they pretty much, just automatically started working on the next album. Also going on tour like around 77, 75, 76 and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So they're just working on this album while they were on tour, and so around this time too, they were just traveling to like Denmark, rehearsing and recording and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They also played a landmark gig in Hyde Park on September 18th, 1976. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of crazy too, because I think I've seen some of that concert like in passing and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because they actually came late for that concert.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
They pulled a Lauryn Hill? Wow.
Yeah. They pulled a Lauryn Hill.
Wow.
And
wow.
They didn't have that much time to play an encore. So pretty much if Freddie Mercury was actually almost arrested because it was time constraints and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to go on stage again, because I think they had like a time limit and whatnot too, you know what I'm saying? So also too, they also got into some situation with like the Sex Pistols, which I'm gonna get more into that next week when we talk about What's the album? What's the album? News of the World and stuff like that too. Which I really can't wait to talk about that album next week and shit like that too. They got in a situation and yeah man. So they were pretty much touring and everything like that too. And by the late 70s, you know what I'm saying? You said what?
Yes or no?
Uh, by the late 70s, the whole progressive rock was kind of like dying down in popularity, especially with disco coming out. Which again, I'm gonna save most of that discussion for next week. So be on the lookout for that News of the World review and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to this album right here, a lot of people have sometimes called it a sequel to Night of the Opera because both albums kind of have their similarities. Like for one, both albums were named after Marx Brothers movies and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So Groucho Marx, Harper Marx, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So also even the album cover is kind of similar and stuff like that. One thing I loved about this album cover was that with that Night at the Opera, the whole album cover was like white with this like little symbol, but then this is like a day at the races and it's all black and shit like that too. I felt like that was kind of clever. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever I think about both albums, I necessarily would not particularly call this album a sequel to Night at the Opera. I feel like it's kind of crazy though, because when I compare Night of the Opera and A Day at the Races, I have to bring in Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links and Ghostface's Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have said that Iron Man served as a quasi or unofficial sequel to Only Built for My Cuban Links. And I don't, I'm not mad about that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like night and day, if that makes sense. So that's why I feel like they're both not necessarily sequels, but just companion pieces, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you heard people say Iron Man was like a continuation to Only Built for Cuban Links. You heard that before?
Yeah, it was like the cousin, like the cousin album.
Yeah, cousin album.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
that's way to.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can definitely tell they were trying to like not replicate, but there's some songs kind of have some similarities to other songs.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the album was a bit more stripped down compared to Night of the Opera. You know what I'm saying? A bit more heavier compared to Night of the Opera 2 and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you what the booklet looks like. Give me 1 second.
Would you say American Gangster was like a sequel to Reasonable Doubt?
I personally would say it. Yes.
Yeah. I felt like
feel like
I felt like
yeah, I
OJ
feel like
on that album.
yeah, it was like Reasonable Doubt, but with the 2007 twist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just to let you guys know, I actually got the 1991 reissue of this album. And what's interesting was that they have like bonus remixes of Tie Your Mother Down and Somebody to Love, which I'm not really going to talk about those remixes to be real with you. I'm just going to talk about the regular 10 songs. Remixes was dope. So I felt, spoiler alert, I've never been a fan of Somebody to Love, which I'll get more into that in a minute. I know that's one of Queen's signature songs. I know, you know what I'm saying, but I just never been a big fan of that. So I feel like it's kind of overplayed and stuff like that too. And yeah, there's been a lot of Queen songs that definitely get played more than others. You know what I'm saying? You can even go as far as say Bohemian Rhapsody gets overplayed sometimes too. But at the same time too, I'll get more into like why I don't really fuck with Somebody to Love like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, man. They at the Races. Let me pull up my notes. You know what I'm saying? So this album has 10 songs, and we're gonna get right straight into the first song, Tie Your Mother Down. One of my all-time favorite album songs on this album. One of the hardest rock songs they've done up to this date. You know what I'm saying? One thing I liked about this song, it had a 1 minute intro. I think like Brian May doing like Spanish guitar. He used like a Shepherd tone melody for this track right here. and he pretty much reprised this at the ending of this last song, Tio Toriet. You know what I'm saying? Just so it can bring the album in full circle. You know what I'm saying? And Brian May actually wrote this song while he was in Tenerife, while he was working on his PhD as an astronomer, and he did the riff on like a Spanish guitar. And so, what ended up happening was that when he woke up one morning, he was playing it while singing the song "Tie Your Mother Down," and he considered that song to be like a line to be a joke. But then Freddie Mercury, he loved that line, and he pretty much said just make a song based off that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely one of the most hard rocking songs on this album. Like I mentioned to you before, very, very, very dope track right here, shit like that too. I mean, probably one of my favorite songs on this album.
Yeah, it was cool. I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I would have started the album with this. It was cool. It was a high track. I felt like they needed another song on here to like really set the tone for the album.
Understandable. Yeah, I definitely feel you about that. Um, Next song we got is "You Take My Breath Away," a lovely ballad. I mean, it's Freddie Mercury and a piano. What more can you ask for and shit like that too? So pretty much he did pretty much all the vocals and piano by himself with this song. It's considered like a vocal interlude and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying, between this song and the next one. I mean, this song itself is like 5 minutes and shit like that too. So that's a pretty long ass interlude if you ask me. But yeah, this one right here is pretty dope. I love the singing done by Freddie Mercury, just that vintage singing and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a very, very, very dope track.
This shit was long as hell. Like I felt like they should have did a Broadway album, yo. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because Freddie was infatuated with doing these Broadway play type of tracks. We get like the acapella, you get the pianos, and then towards the end of the song, it all builds up into drums and a fast paced track. And we've seen that. We talked about that on the last album. There was a lot of that on that one, and now this album has a lot of that. And it was just one of those Broadway play type of tracks.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I feel you on that. Um, it's been speculated that he wrote this song either about his lover at the time, David Means, or his other lover, Mary Austin, which I mentioned in the last review and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Who's pretty much like the closest woman that he's ever been with and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this one right here is pretty fire. I like this one, and yeah, I definitely agree with you on the Broadway aspect and shit like that too.
So where's if like if any he was with other women though, right?
Yeah, he dated women too.
Where are they? Because you only hear about him being with men. Where's the women that he used to be with? Like, are they even alive?
I know Mary is still alive, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
And they've talked with I've never seen these women in like documentaries talking about their love
yeah.
lives with him.
They see. I've seen interviews where Freddie talked about. He did an interview. He was talking about his love for Mary and stuff like that too. But
Mm,
at the same time, with the whole media and shit like that too, they be like, oh well, he dated men, so he's automatically gay, but technically he's bisexual. To be real
right.
with you, you know what I'm saying? So, but Freddie Mercury is pretty much like an LGBTQ icon and
Mm,
stuff like that too. So people, especially with the name Queen and stuff like that too, because that name Queen, especially in the
mhm,
British, in like
right.
the England and stuff like that, is referred to as like a homosexual and
Hmm.
whatnot. You know what I'm
But the
saying?
queen
So
is dead also. So
you said what?
the queen is dead. She dead. She dead. She died.
Right.
You know.
But yeah, man. But it's definitely it's definitely one of the it's definitely one of the most fascinated things people look at when it comes to Freddie Mercury and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I find that interview, I would definitely send it to you because it's been a year
Mhm.
since I've actually seen that interview.
Right.
I swear, if it's not Freddie Mercury, people just infatuated by Michael Jackson, Love Life and shit. I swear to God.
Yeah.
But track number 3. Oh, by the way, did you still want to do that list after this review or no?
Well, I only got 8. Well, I got 8 picks and maybe a ninth, but the ninth one, I heard the album, but it's not one of the best. Like I only want to pick like out of that to me that year was bad. I don't even know why you're picking that year, but clearly there was like one great album and everything else like after that. But I got like 8 and maybe a ninth pick because
Okay.
I'm looking at the year. I'm like I don't think there's great 10 albums from that list from that year.
Oh, damn, man.
You
I
know what I
actually
mean?
like 2015
You
had
like
some
you like
heat.
that, bro?
Yeah.
I'm looking at that list. I'm like, there's albums that I've heard, but I don't think they were great. Like I mentioned the Odyssey album. I don't think that was a great album. I heard
I
it,
didn't even
but
hear
I
that.
don't think
I
it's
didn't even
great to
hear
be on
that.
that list.
But I got some shit. We can do a top
Right?
8. Shit like that. We can do a top 8.
And was it the Drake and Future? I heard the album, but I'm not a Future fan. I only listened to it to hear how Drake would sound with him, and I'm like,
That's
is
on my
that one of the best of 2015? Huh?
That's actually on my list.
That's
Believe
on
it or
your
not.
list, really?
Believe it or not.
But
Alex
you like
King.
Future though. You like Future, so
See, I'm not a Future fan. I
uh,
only like Dirty Sprite 2 and that album. Everything else, y'all can have that shit. But Dirty Sprite
yes.
2, I like it. I don't love it. I like it. It's a
And
difference.
then Drake had the if you're reading this, that album was
Which
out that year.
that was a mixtape. Technically, it was a mixtape.
I
But
only remember like 2 songs off of that though. So I'm like, I ain't putting it on the list.
running with the streets with my whoa.
You know what I mean? I remember he had the Joint Energy and he had Jungle. That's the only 2 songs I remember from that album.
Oh damn, man. Know yourself, man. Come on.
I don't
That's
remember.
my
I heard it, but it's not something I went back to play.
to me.
That's what I'm like. 2015 was a weird year because like a lot of those albums I heard, but I didn't go back to play them like that.
Well, we'll see what happens though. We'll work it out. All right. So track number 3 we got is Long Way. I think that's the next track. Yeah. So this is actually the only Queen single. Keyword: only Queen single released during Freddie Mercury's lifetime that was not sung by him. It was mostly done. The vocals were mostly done by Brian May, since he actually wrote this song and whatnot. But Roger Taylor, excuse me, he actually sung like the highest parts of the song, like the falsetto, all that shit. Excuse me. It's a lot of people have said that this was kind of like the song 39 from the Night at the Opera without like the folk influence. It definitely had like a more melancholy tone to it. You know what I'm saying? A song about nostalgia and shit like that too. The beat definitely reminds me of some shit like the early 90s alternative rock. You remember that group Blind Melon? That same that all I have to say is that my life. They did that song No Rain
Yeah.
with that dancing bubble.
You
Yeah,
you asked me about them because you said you wanted to like do a album review on them.
yeah. That album is fire. The first that one. But yeah, but that's another story for a different. It kind of, like I said, kind of has a proto alternate feel to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing with Queen, though. That's the thing. I mentioned this in the first album review we done. They definitely should be more considered when it comes to like influencing like a lot of the alt rock acts and whatnot too, especially Nirvana and whatnot. But yeah, that's an interesting song right there. I like that one.
It was alright. It was cool. I wasn't thrilled by it.
Understandable.
Yeah,
All right.
it's amazing that Red, you love the Drake album, but you would never do a Drake review on here.
Well, I almost did a Drake review.
You
but
did?
I never said, okay, here's the thing. I never really said I did not really want to do a Drake review. I said if I was to do a Drake review, I would invite one of my other homeboys since he's a Drake fan, but me and him had a falling out and stuff like that because I used to work in the other job. And
Right.
I said, fuck that light skinned bitch, but that's another story for a different day. So To be honest with you, if we do a Drake review, it's only going to be the Drake albums, like Take Care, Thank Me Later.
Right.
But
The,
I'm
the,
not
the best
really,
shit. The best shit.
yeah. But I'm not
Yeah.
really. He's not really into my radar. Maybe one day I may do a discography breakdown. Maybe one day, but I have plenty of other artists I want to talk about before Drake. Plus,
I
I'm
don't
kind of
I don't I don't think he's dropping his classic shit now. I think his shit now is terrible, just like Eminem shit. You know what I'm
to me.
saying? But huh?
I was gonna say his last great shit that I really enjoyed was the Drake and Future album. That's the
Was
last
that
great shit.
before? Was that before? Yeah, I would. I would think I would probably have to say that because I didn't like none of that. Like More Life, I didn't like.
Hell no.
The double album was okay. It wasn't great though. You know what I'm saying? Because
It
he had
has
like,
some heat.
Hmm?
It has some heat.
Yeah, but it wasn't a great double album, and I don't think he should have dropped the double album.
Nah.
You
To be
know.
honest with you,
Mm,
his best album to me was Thank Me Later and Take Care.
yeah, I agree. I think that's his best shit. I don't
But
like none of his shit now. Like I don't see the hype for him anymore. And Kendrick is way above him. Kendrick is in a different category than Drake, man. Drake ain't if Drake can't fucking battle Pusha T, how the fuck he gonna battle Kendrick Lamar?
to be honest
He
with
got
you,
way out of
man,
his league. You know,
I
views is garbage. I don't like views.
I enjoy Party Next Door's music more than Drake. To be real with you.
I didn't like him either. Did you see him at Rolling Loud?
I saw some of his performance.
He's like 300 pounds now.
I know it's crazy.
I'm like, yeah, he been eating during the pandemic. I remember when that nigga was skinny.
Right. But
I almost didn't
what was
recognize him. I'm like, that Party Next Door? This nigga blew up.
All right. I was gonna say something though, but yeah, man. But before we go to the next song, it's just like I said, Drake is not really on my radar right now. But if I do a review, it's really just specifically the best shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really gonna do no artist Sunday or discography breakdown anytime soon. Because when we talk about people on this channel, I'm gonna talk more about artists that don't really get a lot of
Right.
shine. We can still
Right.
talk about popular artists. Don't get me wrong, but everyone does a Drake review. I'm not really trying. I like to go left while people go right. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't doing it. I might never do a Drake review unless it's his mixtapes or something. I ain't gonna be no new shit.
Yeah, I'd rather do a Big Crit review before
Yeah,
Drake. And I feel
definitely.
like I understand how people kind of neglect Crit and whatnot too, but that's another story for a different day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let's get back to Queen because I don't want to talk about Drake on the Queen review. So we at track number 4, The Millionaire Waltz. So this is a weird kind of song and whatnot. This was actually written by Freddie Mercury and written about the manager at the time, John Reed, who was Elton John's manager and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? That's another dope artist we have to talk about at some point, but that's another story for a different day. So this is kind of like the album's Bohemian Rhapsody. You can tell they were trying to do what Bohemian Rhapsody done, but again, not as extravagant as Bohemian Rhapsody. I love John Deacon's bass playing on this song. Excuse me. Why am I burping a lot tonight? Damn. I love John Deacon's bass playing on this song and shit like that too. Him and Freddie Mercury always, to me, they have the best chemistry in the band, in my opinion. I kind of compare the chemistry to like Flea and Anthony Kiedis, however you say his last name, from Kiedis, yeah, from Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Brian May also did very well with the guitar too and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, this song, this one was pretty straight. It's not like the same level as Bohemian Rhapsody, but I give it an A+ for effort because Queen never does anything less than brilliant around this time.
This is like Bohemian Rhapsody light. Pianos, acapella. You know the story. Pianos, acapella, Then it all builds up at the end when the drums kick in. This was their formula for a lot of songs. Like at that time, it's like they Bohemian Rhapsody was a success, and they said we got to copy that. Let's do another one.
That's the big mistake.
You know what I'm
But thank
saying? I feel like that now. It's like I didn't notice it until now. I'm like they have a lot of those Bohemian Rhapsody type of songs. You
yeah,
know,
but the thing about Queen, one thing I can give respect to Queen when they realize they can't redo and replicate Bohemian Rhapsody, they just jumped to the next kind of style. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I've always
right?
liked about because and
I
it's
feel
kind
like
of
that could be a. You think it was the label too that was pressuring them? Like, yo, we need another one of these.
absolutely you're right. You're right about that. And
Yeah.
I was gonna say and shit like that too. And that's one of the things about this album, though, that I kind of feel like I kind of feel like it's not a misstep because it's still a great album, but it does try to do a lot of shit Night at the Opera done. But that
Mm.
does not mean, but it does not mean they failed it, which I'll explain more. I feel like I'll break it more down once we get to the last couple of songs, though.
Right.
But very good observation that you picked up on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, they definitely this was definitely Bohemian Rhapsody light and shit like that too. Track number 5, You and I. This was the only song on this album that was written by John Deacon. Another piano driven kind of song right here. Very very dope track. It's not really among my favorite John Deacon songs that he's done for this album. Well, not for the Queen's discography. In my opinion, I feel like some of his best shit came from like the Jazz to the Hot Space album, which I really can't wait to talk about Hot Space. That's the album. Sweet, that's the album I really cannot wait to talk about. But okay, that's like another, I think another 4 weeks and shit. Shit.
Mhm.
Whew. Fuck. Okay.
We could have just we skipped everything else and then went straight to that.
Nah. Because when it comes to these, I like, because like I said, when it comes to these artists, I like to go through like album after album because we still got some good shit to talk about. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like we still got some more good shit to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because this is Queen we're talking about. This is Queen we're talking about too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had like a lot of fun, intricate kind of songs up to this point. But I just say Hot Space because I've been listening to the album a lot more lately and stuff like that too. And I feel like that album is one of the most overhated rock albums ever. But I'm gonna explain more about that. But You and I, this one was a pretty straight song for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
love the instrumentation on this one.
Yeah, this was dope. I like it. The beat, the pianos, and like the pace of the track really kicks in towards the end of the song, and it was nice.
Right. All right. Track number 6, Somebody to Love. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. I never liked this song. I'll be real with you. I
No.
never liked this song. I know.
All the Queens fans right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, is it a good song vocally? Yes. Freddie Mercury does some of his best vocals, but it's just way too fucking sentimental, in my fucking opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's like believe it or not, they were inspired by Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin when it came to this track, and I can kind of see it because it does have that gospel opera kind of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much, he wrote the song from what I looked up, calling out to God, asking why he can't find no love with himself and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which, again, a very, very bold, a very, very, very bold kind of song, especially for that time and everything like that too. I kind of put this on the same length as, Joan Osborne's song "One of Us," which what if God, I hate that. Another song I fucking hate. You know what I'm saying? What if God was one of us? I don't even like that whenever that song is covered.
Why does that song sound familiar, yo? I know that song from somewhere.
God had a name. What would it be?
Okay.
That song. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
If you heard it, you'll be
Uh-huh.
like, oh, I know where I heard this one.
I'd be like, I remember this song.
Yeah. Big song back in like 96, 97 and
Yeah.
shit like that. So like I said, I kind of put, like I said, but I will listen to Somebody to Love over that song. I do feel like Freddie Mercury's vocals elevated that track too, in my personal opinion. Um, it kind of dawns on me since this was kind of inspired by Aretha Franklin. Freddie Mercury was a huge Aretha Franklin fan, smart man. You know what I'm saying? Kind of dawned on what if Aretha definitely sang this song? Because Aretha would have done this. I don't know. It would have been whoo.
Yeah, she would have brought the soul aspect to it.
Right. Oh, one more thing. They did a cover with George Michael and stuff like that when the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. The George Michael version was pretty cool. Not gonna hold you, it was pretty cool and stuff like that too. And George Michael definitely did his thing on that one. So, but again, this might be my least favorite song on this album. Sorry. Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I think it's definitely one of a Queen classic. The beat, the pianos, the way that Freddie was singing his vocals, you know, I think it was great. You know, to me, it's my favorite song on this album.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I didn't really like this album, bro. It's just too much. I'm hearing too much of Night at the Opera on here. This album should have been called Day at the Opera. That's what it sounded like to me.
We'll talk about that.
You know what I mean? That to me is, and it's one of those songs that they played like this song in like commercials and movies. So that's one of those Queen songs that the mainstream America used in like their promotion for stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if I hear a song in a fucking commercial one more time, like, and I know it's in a recent commercial too.
Yeah, I want to say I saw this in like a Planters Peanuts commercial or something.
Yeah, that's the shit.
It was like way back. I'm like, yo, like the Planters, what they call the dude with the cane, the Planters guy. He's like singing the song and shit, and
Yeah.
So like the commercials is what I remember. Like when we were talking about no, we didn't do that one yet. Under Pressure was used in a Google video chat commercial with the Muppets. You ever saw that one with the Muppets in Google?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that Under Pressure was used in that commercial. So they've taken a lot of Queen hits and they've put it in like movies and commercials and shit.
Exactly. I blame like Wayne's World.
Yes, that too. Yeah, Wayne's World also.
Definitely. All right. So next song, White Man. My favorite song on this album. This is definitely one of Queen's most controversial songs and stuff like that, and one of their most heaviest songs, to be real with you. Written by Brian May. It talks about how the white people fucked up the Indians and whatnot too, and how the Indians was abused by the European immigrants after they took the fucking land and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's no surprise why this was my favorite song on this album. There's no surprise, But
right.
I'm like
going through that shit now.
Still going through
that Oscar film, Killer the Flower Moon. That they was all about that shit.
Right. I call it gentrification. That's what I call it now.
Right.
Hey Kaya, what's up? What's up, Bob? How you doing?
What's up?
Yeah. Shout out to Kaya, by the way, true friend. So yeah, I love the line when he says, "Leave my body in shame, leave my soul in disgrace, but by every God's name, say your prayers for your race." Oh yeah, the country was green and all over rivers wide. White man, you came with a gun, and soon our children died. White man, don't you give a light. You know what I'm saying? This is fucking dope as fuck. And I was like, yeah, I like this one. You know what I'm saying?
If you ever watch Yellowstone, that's the whole premise of that show. Cowboys and Indians fighting over land.
Right.
Yeah, for all over oil for money and shit. That the whole show is about that. This is part of American history that's been going on forever. No, I thought it was a great song. Like if it was controversial, fuck it. Freddie had to say what he had to say, and that's just what it is. You know.
Exactly. All right. So next song on this album is "Good Old Fashioned Boy." This is like one of the shortest tracks on the album. Love this song right here. It's probably one of those Broadway songs like you would kind of describe, try, and stuff like that. You
Boy,
know what I'm
Broadway play shit. That's what it is.
saying? Cafeteria beats, Broadway shit. You know what I'm saying? We just creating all the kind of lingo that all the kids are gonna use today and shit. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this song. You know what I'm saying? Good old fashioned lover boy. Funny ass title though. One of Freddie Mercury's vocally complex songs too. And also Mike Stone actually done background vocals with Freddie.
They don't do that in rock no more though. Like Queen really perfected that style, and the closest band that did it, and you can't stand them was Green Day. Green Day is the closest to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they literally made like American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown into like a Broadway play like on record. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have that in rock no more. It's nothing that that you could be like, yo, like this album could be turned into a Broadway play and shit. Like Queen was good at that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got again on this record. It's like Broadway play shit.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really put Broadway with American Idiot, honestly. I just felt like that would
But no, but
just
they made it into a Broadway play. That album.
I know.
You
I
know what
mean
I'm
like
saying?
the out
And then
yeah.
like the one following it, 21st Century was like in the same vein. You know what I'm saying? It was like Green Day music has really changed over the years since they came out. They're more controversial, but they're political at the same time, and it's like their whole theme is like dealing with like '60s punk rock and rebelliousness and all that was in the Broadway play. But I'm saying like they're like really the only rock group since Queen to do shit like that. Like when I listen to you know a band like 21 Pilots is not as controversial as Queen or Green Day. Like they have their own story within their own band, but they're not controversial as those bands. But it's like rock groups don't even do that shit no more.
You're right about that. Cause I feel like honestly, I feel like they kind of overuse that trope a little bit. I'm kind of grateful they don't
Mhm.
do that shit, real. Cause
Right,
let's keep it a buck. They won't be they won't be doing all this shit if it wasn't for the Who, in my opinion.
right. I agree.
They
I
really
agree.
they really created that whole rock opera, and I
Right.
feel like Roger Daltrey vocally, I feel like he definitely had the right voice for like albums like Tommy,
Mhm.
Who's Next, Quantifinia, and stuff like that. Especially Quantifinia, some of the best
Mhm.
singing he's ever done and
Right.
whatnot too. We have to talk about the Who at some point. I know I keep saying this
Yeah.
shit, but the Who is the Who, man. I mean, they while the Beatles were writing about Sunshine and Strawberry Fields, these niggas were the Who was writing fucking MGM scores and shit, MGM
Right.
soundtracks, like some shit you would hear like in a Western movie, but it's epic. It's fucking epic. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's
Right.
why it's just like it kills me when Green Day try to do what the Who done and shit. That's why I feel like they're just carbon copies
Mhm.
and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I know that's your
Right.
group. I know that's your group and all that shit. But
Oh, Green Day.
Green Day, yeah, I know
No,
that's
no,
your
but I
group.
mean like I noticed that like a long time ago. Even when American Idiot came out, I'm like, this is a more mature, more self-aware Green. Well, I mean, they all got kids now and shit, so maybe that has something to do with it. So it's definitely a different Green Day now compared to when Nimrod and Dookie and shit came out.
They actually had an album called Nimrod.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. They just named their albums anything. Toilet, Nimrod, Dookie. A lot of toilet humor. Yeah, but
Uh,
yeah. But anyway, Shit, I'm just talking a lot of shit today. Don't mind me. All right, next track. Mm, Drowse. My second favorite song on this album. Sung and written by Roger Taylor. This song right here is one of the most relatable songs I've ever heard. And I kind of resonate with the song a little bit today because the lyrics definitely struck out to me. It's pretty much just talking about how when one grows up and worry about that, they felt like, adulthood was not going to be that bad as people make it out to be. But then once you actually reach adulthood and whatnot, it's just that you have to do your best to survive. You have to do your best just to make it every day and stuff like that too. And I feel like that's very relate. I never really heard a rock song really take that concept before. You know what I'm saying? It definitely had like a very nostalgic kind of melody. This is definitely to me one of the most underrated Queen songs I've ever heard. And I feel like it's really because it wasn't really sung by Freddie Mercury. Yeah, I went there. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like honestly, this is definitely a classic song. My second favorite song on that. My second favorite song.
It was okay.
It
It was
was
cool.
okay.
I mean,
The boys said it was okay.
I think you're more into this album than I am. You know what I'm saying? It
We'll
was
talk
cool.
about that. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it. Cause you never know. You never know what I might actually honestly go last with my review because I have a
Okay.
lot to say. Yeah.
Yes.
But like I said before, I feel like that song itself should be listened to at least one time because when people think Queen, they think the fucking "We Will Rock You" Bohemian Rhapsodies, but they can really go deep in certain
Hmm.
songs though. They can really go deep.
Right.
Oh, thank God! Finally, my mom hit me up. Thank God. I was like, "Where the fuck she at?" Anyway, next song and the last song, Tio Torianti, aka "Let Us Cling Together." So this is another interesting song right here. I know people were thinking to themselves, "What the fuck is Tio Torrenti is and shit like that." This is pretty much a tribute to the Japanese fans, and at the time they really had a strong fan base in Japan, and they did like a lot of touring in Japan and stuff like that too. So Brian May, he wrote this song really just because of the bond that Queen had with the Japanese people and stuff like that too. And the chorus is actually in Japanese and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So I felt
Mm.
that that was pretty interesting. Um, do I like this song? I'm gonna be real with you. This is not one of those I have to run home and listen to this song when I feel like listening to Queen. But I do feel like it's one of the most respectful songs because I love a good song that shows tributes to his fans. Though I can respect that.
Yeah. It's more Broadway play shit here. It's more Broadway shit. So if you love Broadway play Queen, this is the for you.
Right. All right, Trey. I'm gonna let you say your opinion first.
My favorite song on here was "Somebody to Love." Um, I love the song. I felt like a lot of the songs just had uh not at the opera vibes for me with the all the Broadway operatic songs and shit. You know, I mean, it's Queen's fans. The Queen fans love it. You know what I mean? Like they'll love the album. I just felt like I don't know. Like I'm hearing more of like the last album. On here. You know, I'm gonna give it a 3 because like a couple songs was cool, but it wasn't like one of my favorite albums.
Okay. All right. Well, my elaborate opinion on this album. So this is an interesting album when it comes to Queen because I feel like I have two sides how I view this album. Now, the diehard Queen side of me would say that this album is sandwiched between two great albums, and I personally feel that it's still a good album in its own right, and they still it's still pretty much like a continuation or quasi continuation or cousin of A Night of the Opera. However, the critic side of me have to say that they I feel that the tone was all over the place with this album, to be real with you. You know what I'm saying? Because when it came to like the previous albums and stuff like that too, which I forgot to actually mention, this is actually the first produced self-produced album because they didn't really have Roy Thomas Baker, who produced the previous albums, was not on this record and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? So that's I just actually realized that when I was doing the research on this album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this album pretty much I felt like the tone was all over the place, which again is no surprise because Queen as a band was all over the place in a good way. And I felt like there was a lot more inconsistent sequencing compared to the previous albums, but at the same time too, I don't really dislike this album though. I do feel like it's a good album though. I wouldn't really call it a classic, but I'd still say it's peak Queen. So I'm gonna give this album a 3.7 out of 5. Now, when it comes to the next album, y'all ain't ready for that one. Y'all ain't ready for that. But anyway, let's get to the hip hop side of things, and I'm gonna edit the title, probably after this review is over and shit like that too. So, top 8 hip hop albums of 2015. So,
8. Lord.
yes, because personally, you know, when it comes to this year in hip hop, there was a lot of. This was an interesting year when it comes to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I felt like when it comes to the 20 teens, the traditional hip hop was doing great. The mainstream hip hop songs, radio hip hop songs were still good too. I feel like this year, a lot of styles was really coming into peak form. And I saw a list, which I'm gonna all talk about this week, called streaming albums that people will call classics today, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which is a very interesting list. I want to get your opinion on it, Try. So I was like, on the hip hop side of things, I definitely want to do a top 8 hip hop albums of 2015, and there's actually going to be a tie, believe it or not. I'm actually going to have a tie thrown in. So let's get started. My number 8 pick, I gotta go with J Rock with 90059. You know what I'm saying? This is actually J Rock's second studio album. His first one is actually "Follow Me Home." Some people might say this. Oh, let me show y'all the album cover. Where are my manners? The first one, pretty much, "Follow Me Home." That was pretty much like his first album. It was more like indie and stuff like that too. This one was pretty much like his breakthrough album to make sense. Very dope track right here. I love songs like my favorite track on this album, pretty much Vice City, with the whole Black Hippie crew, fire. I love Gumbo. Fly on the Wall with Busta and Macy Gray was pretty dope too. Money Trees Deuce was dope as fuck. It definitely had like a more melodic kind of sound to it. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, when it comes to the whole Top Dog, I feel like this album don't really get its just due like that, especially because it was overshadowed by a certain album, which we're going to talk more about that later on in this countdown. But I highly recommend this album. You know what I'm saying? I need to get my hands on this album though. So this is my number 8. All right.
Number 8 for me is fucking Mad Blue and Madlib, Bad Neighbor, and
Ooh.
I love the production for Madlib on that. It's definitely fire. You had joints like Streets and Knock Knock, God's Arrival. Just dope, underground hip hop.
Definitely dope underground. All right. I'm gonna surprise a lot of people with my number seven. Definitely surprise a lot of people, but I gotta go with Future, Dirty Sprite 2. I know what a lot of you are saying. Reggie ranking a Future album. Wow. Wow. I know what y'all are saying. But yeah, man. There was a time, don't get me wrong, I have my trap shit I be bumping and stuff like that. There's some trap shit I bump. And this is when I was in college. I was getting fucked up literally like every fucking day. Let me stop. Let me stop. And when Fuck Up Some Commas came out though, whew, that was my fucking heat though. You know what I'm saying? That's actually the song that made me a Future fan for like 2 minutes. And then he dropped the next album, which I didn't really, not the collab album, the double album with the Hendrix shit. I was like, nah, I ain't fucking with that shit. But yeah, this was known for songs like Thought It Was a Drought, Blow a Bag, Freak Hole was dope. My favorite song on this album, Rich Sex. But if you did get the deluxe edition, he had this one song called The Parasite and Stripper Joint, which that was also co-produced by Jake One and Southside too. I love that fucking beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not really a big mumble rapping fan, trap fan, but this album is definitely one of my favorites and shit. So that's Dirty Sprite 2 is my number seven. Surprisingly.
I got a Czarface. Every hero needs a villain.
That's
You know,
actually my next
7L
one.
and that's a terror. Oh yeah, 7L and that's a terrorist. Inspector Deck, classic. All their albums are fire. All their albums are classics to me. They don't have whack albums out, and you had joints like Lumberjack Match and Sergeant Slaughter, Zardicus, just great boom bap at its finest, man.
Yeah. That's actually my number six as well too. You know what I'm saying? This is actually the second album they came out with. The first one, spoiler alert, I feel like that's actually my favorite hip hop album of 2013. To be real with you, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it might change. You never know. It might change though. But this one was dope as fuck. Nightcrawler with Meth was dope. Kabang with MF Doom. The late great MF Doom, man. Still a shock that he's not fucking here, but it is what it is. Red Alert was pretty good too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, this album, fucking fire ass album. That's my number six.
Number 6 is Pusha T, Darkest Before Dawn, with production by Timberland. I think Q-Tip did a joint on there. Your favorite celebrity molester Diddy did something on there. You
Who's
know,
favorite?
huh?
He ain't my
Huh?
favorite.
Yeah, yeah, y'all favorite celebrity molester, the legend that y'all think he is. You know, he did a track on there. You got joints like Untouchables. You got Retribution, FIFA. Was it Crutches, Crosses, and Caskets? Like it was a dope, short little project for Pusha, and he's another one that don't have no whack albums at all. Love his
Right.
stuff.
Well, if you count the production of Lord of Willing, but yeah, you're right about that. You
Oh
know.
boy, there you go.
All right, so my number five, I gotta go with Rihanna's baby daddy, at long last ASAP Rocky. In my opinion, his best and his last great album, in my opinion, because I did not like Testing. I felt like that album was still in testing mode when he came out with that one. Um, yeah, this one right here was really some psychedelic hip hop right here, like jukebox joints with Joe Fox and Kanye. One of the best Kanye beats I've ever heard ever. Wavy Bone with Juicy J and UGK was dope. LSD, Better Things, Every Day with Rod Stewart. That's on this album. Rod motherfucking Stewart. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, motherfucker and shit. I'm like, I don't even fuck with Rod Stewart like that. I was like, okay, he sounds dope on this. You like Rod Stewart? Try or no?
I like '80s Rod Stewart when he came like the earlier shit. You
Yeah,
know, If
That's
you
a
think I'm
Rasta I
sexy
hate.
and you don't like that Rasta, well, what Rasta would you
I
like?
like I like 70s smart when he was in Faces. Wake up, Maggie May. That Rod Stewart. Like,
I ain't hear all his shit. I know the '80s stuff from him.
yeah,
You
that
know
was when he
what
was wearing all those weird ass suits and shit. I'm like, get this
I mean?
motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, the wild hair.
Oh my fucking white Tina
I
Turner hair.
got if you think I'm sexy, I got that on the 12-inch vinyl for that.
You
That's like
should
my
burn it.
favorite Ross Stewart song.
You should burn it.
Oh Lord, you
I
funny.
never liked that album. Oh my. We might have to do a trash review on that album.
Oh wow. I said I got the song, not the album. I got the single.
Well, you should still
You
burn
know
it
what I
though.
mean? You funny.
But anyway, at long last, ASAP. This is pretty much his dope best album and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, his first two, man, that's all you need to hear. That's all I'm saying.
You funny. Number 5, I got Mac Miller. This is an album we discussed. Good AM. You know, another artist that never dropped a whack
No,
project. Fire album. You know, you got a joint Weekend with Miguel, 100 Grandkids, Brand Name, Ascension. He had the 2 matches with Absol. Just a fire ass album. Rest in peace, Mac Miller.
yeah, rest in peace, Mac Miller. Yeah, definitely got to talk more about his discography.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, one of the greatest MCs of all time, Scarface, Deeply Rooted. You know what I'm saying? This came out literally 7 years after Emeritus, and he kind of went to he at the time it was stated that that was supposed to have been his last album. You know what I'm saying? Which that album was okay. It was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? This album right here was just he just came back strong with this one and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy too because even though this album did well commercially and whatnot too, it pretty much charted high in the Billboard 200. I felt like it didn't really get its just due. I love songs like Rooted, Dope Man Pushing, Do What I Do was pretty dope too, you know what I'm saying? This is a true Southern album right here, you know what I'm saying? In my opinion, he definitely has one of the best discographies in hip hop.
Number 4 for me is we just talked about this artist last week. Wale, the album About Nothing. One of his best albums by far. You know, he picked the right singles for this one. Matrimony with Usher, The Bloom with Stokely from Mint Condition, The Body featuring Jeremiah, Need to Know with SZA. He had the White Shoes song, one of his best songs to me. Just a great album, just and this having, just giving homage to Seinfeld. That's one of his best albums. Clearly, it's not even a comparison to. I don't even after this album, I don't even think he dropped anything great after this album. Like this is like his last good project.
That should have been his true second album.
Yes, I agree. That's why I put it in the top 4. I'm like, this is like his last great project. He hasn't dropped nothing since like great as this.
Too busy bitching about
Yeah, right.
motherfuckers don't
He bitching to these blogs. Oh, y'all don't respect me. Y'all sleep on me, but y'all talk about Kendrick and J. Cole all day.
because they make better
Well, make
music.
better music. Exactly. Make better music like them.
I I accidentally showed this and shit, but my number 3 is actually Ghostface Killer and Bad Bad Not Good with the Sour Soul album. This is another album I kind of feel like don't really get its just due. Yo, Ghost low key was on a run in like the early to mid 2010s and shit. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, once he came out with the fucking what's that joint? 12 Reasons to Die. He was just on a fucking run. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Like, I feel like that run don't get talked about enough. Like from 12 Reasons to Die up to the Lost Tapes from 2018 and shit. But back to Sour Soul. Yeah, this one right here was a pretty dope album, in my opinion. Very jazzy. You know, Bad Bad Not Good is try to say that 12 times. Bad Bad Not Good. It's like a Canadian jazz group and shit like that. You know, I love songs like Tones Rap. Yo, Tones Rap is my fucking joint though. Gun Showers, Sour Souls, pretty good. Definitely that basement kind of feel to it. Ghostface floating on these fucking beats. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got to talk about that album. Oh, we have to talk about 12 Reasons to Die though. We have to talk about that one. But yeah, this
Yeah.
to me very underrated album.
Yes. Number 3, from the hometown of BK, I gotta go with my man Joey Badass. Before the
Mm,
Ass.
that's what it
Underrated
needs.
album. I'm a huge Joey Badass fan, like from the 1999 mixtape to Summer Nights, the Pro Era mixtapes. This man has been putting out fire for a very long time and still putting out fire. And this was like his debut retail album, and I loved it. The production from Static Selector was on here, and Primo, and you got joints like Curry Chicken, Big Dusty, Paper Trails. Phenomenal debut album. So that's my number 3.
I definitely agree with you about that. All right, my number 2, Vince Staples with Summertime '06. You know what I'm saying? This album right here is definitely what a concept album should sound like, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Very dope album. You know, Vince Staples definitely is a fucking dope ass rapper. I don't like his show. I don't like his new show on Netflix.
I didn't
I
even
feel
check
like,
it out. I might watch it tonight because it's on my watch list.
man, they
Is
try
it
to
good?
be like Atlanta. They trying so hard to be like Atlanta. I'm like, no, Vince.
Oh Lord, why?
Exactly. Atlanta is a cultural milestone that cannot be
Right,
replicated. Yeah,
Lord.
that is a sitcom breakdown that's coming up very soon. Which I, ooh,
Oh my.
I thought you liked Atlanta.
What? Atlanta?
Yeah, the show.
I only watched season 1. I didn't watch the other seasons.
You didn't. You only watch season 1.
Yeah, I only seen season 1.
Boss, you have to watch season 2. Some of the best TV. Season 2, some of the best TV you would ever see. Like that show is the closest to like black art. You know what I'm saying? Season 3, kind of hit or miss, but they came right back with season 4. You know what I'm saying? But
But I was watching shit like The Walking Dead and Stranger Things.
yeah,
Shows that I actually like.
you're out watching trash and shit. Well, Walking Dead, where like all the black people die all the time and shit. Yeah.
No,
Stranger.
that's not true. They have a spinoff with a black character and she's
Oh,
alive.
so that's supposed to be black representation, a black spinoff, right? Let's go march down the street and say we shall overcome because Walking Dead done made a black spinoff. Hallelujah!
You can't kill all of us. You can't kill all of us now.
Hallelujah!
Can't kill all of us. Yeah.
Shit. Will fry my grits and call me Al Green because Walking Dead that a black spinoff. That is nice. Amen.
They have a black survivor in the spinoff. That's what I mean.
Oh wow. Meanwhile, fucking Atlanta be talking about all kinds of fucking shit. Let me tell you this about this one episode called Teddy Perkins, which was pretty much a tribute to Michael Jackson. Fucking Donald Glover pretty much was method acting in this one, had a whole white makeup and shit like that. So I'm not going to tell you the whole story because it's literally like the best episode of the whole show. But that episode alone shits on everything Walking Dead has done. I never seen no shit Walking Dead do that matches Atlanta. Walking Dead. They should be calling Sleepwalking.
There you go. There you go.
And you know what other show? Don't even get me started on Don't even get me started on Game of Thrones, man.
I never watched it. I never liked that show.
Oh shit! If World of Warcraft was a TV show,
I tried to watch it. It reminded me too much of Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
I'm like, nah, this ain't for me. The Blue Dragon is cool though. I fuck with the Blue Dragon though.
Yes, sir.
All right, number two. I actually have this one. I actually had to buy this one because this is an artist that I actually fucked with from day one. He's from Queens. He has his own cooking show, and I get the Ghostface comparisons, but we all know the true hip hop heads know he is not Ghostface when it comes to bars. He might be influenced by him, but he is not Ghostface at the end of the day. But he does make some pretty damn good albums, and this is one that I had to get. And it is Action Bronson with Mr. Wonderful, a classic fucking album with production done by Alchemist and Harry Fraud, Party Supplies, and you got joints like Baby Blue with Chance the Rapper. That should have been a single. Fire. Falconry with Mayhem Loren and Big Body Best, which is Best is Action Bronson's cousin. You got Galactic Love, Only in America, which is one of my favorites. It's like a rock that has like a rock rap, sound to it. But just phenomenal first album, and I love this man's albums from the Rare Chandeliers. He had the Dr. Lecter, the Dolphins album, White Bronco, so many projects you can't miss. Like I fuck with Action Bronson, so had to pick this one up. That's my number two.
Yes, sir. And I feel like we both know what our number one is, so I'm not even gonna add it.
Easily the best album of 2015.
Not just hip hop, just the best album.
Yeah, that's overall, yeah.
Right. Man, let me tell you a story when it came to this album though.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was in college, this album literally came out of nowhere because it was supposed to came out, I think, later on in March, but he pretty much like released it a few days earlier. Within 30 minutes, everybody was calling this like the best hip hop album of all time. Like, I kid you not. It was like when this album came out, the whole world just stopped and heard this album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I'm not gonna hold you. I wasn't really quick to hear this album at first because when it comes to me, when the people say, "Oh, this is good," when they hype it, I like to wait a bit before I listen to certain shit. But then I heard this motherfucking shit. I was like, yeah, this is one of the best. This is gonna go down as one of the best hip hop albums of all time, and it is one of the best hip hop albums of all time. And it kills me. It kills me when people say that Drake is on the level of Drake. Never made anything as proficient as this album. Never. Like, all right, it's a Black Lives Matter anthem to this day. You know what I'm saying? What else? These Walls, classic.
Yes.
I mean, Black of the Berry. Whew. King Kunta, For Sale, and the For Free interludes. I mean, man, this whole album is such a masterpiece. People were worried if he was going to top Good Kid, Mad City, but he did that easily and stuff like that too. I mean, his run, like the run, like he's had, man, it's just so consistent because people will pick three classics. People say, "Oh, he has like three classics." I feel like he has like literally 4 to 5 classics. I feel like Mr. Morales years later is going to go down as a classic album too. I'm real, because damn to me is a classic. I ain't gonna hold you.
Definitely.
That to me is a classic album.
He was showing his ass on that album.
Yeah, that was like he went back to Kung Fu Kendrick with that one, whatever he used to call himself and shit.
Kung Fu Kendrick,
yeah. And at first I didn't. That's another album I didn't like at first too.
See.
Believe it or not, I didn't like that album at first, but then I had the second time I heard it. Yeah, because I was just like, it's not that. It was just like the production. I was just like, it was like more trappy, but it was like
it was.
Yeah.
It was from the first, when I first listened to it, I was like, this is more commercial, it's more trappy. Because he had U2 on that, he had Rihanna, Kid Capri was doing like the presentation, It had like a mixtape feel, but it was more commercial and it was trappy. So that's the first things that I noticed when I first heard the album. But the album is phenomenal, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah, man.
saying? Like Element is my joint. Element was what? That
Facts.
bass line was crazy. And Humble, they played Humble for like the NBA fucking finals and shit.
I
They ain't
remember
playing
when
no
that.
Drake shit for the finals. NBA ain't playing
I,
no Drake. You
I
know?
remember when that song first came out too. That was crazy. The whole world just stopped and
Yeah.
whatnot. Um, I feel like that album definitely influenced a lot when it came to my rapping and shit like that. Dude, the damn album. To be real with you,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. But that's our top albums of 2015. I do have like 3 honorable mentions though,
Mm-hmm.
just to name it. Dr. Dre's Compton album. That's an honorable mention. Now, granted, it's not on the same level as Chronic or 2001 and stuff like that. Um, this album pretty much came out at the heat when the Straight Outta Compton movie came out, which that's like literally one of my favorite biopics of all time. Even though watching it now, there's some shit that I kind of have to side eye a bit, but we'll talk more about that when we talk about it. Um, Personally, I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like some songs on this album was some songs from Detox. I'm not even gonna hold you.
You think so?
I feel like it.
Mm.
I feel like some songs, because he probably have like thousands of songs from Detox. And
Yeah.
shit. Gonna be
Yeah. We need like a 10 CD album of Detox when he dropped dead.
right.
Well,
I
it's
feel
so
like
many.
I feel like some of these songs are like reworked songs. To be real with you, but yeah, but this is not a bad album. It's not a classic album by any means, but it's good to see Dre in his element. Whether he has other help too and stuff like that too. Because I know people want to say their shit about Dr. Dre. Oh well, he don't produce his beats and stuff like that. I'm just like, look. Dre is Dre. You know what I'm saying? Even if he don't produce the beats and stuff like that, y'all, there's been plenty of other hip hop producers that put their name on beats and shit. So let's not act like Dre was the only one. And even some of my favorite ones have done that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Prime example.
Pete Rock
You know
never
what I'm
did
saying?
that.
You said what?
Pete Rock never did that.
Because P Rock always did his shit. And mind you, yeah, like I said, prime example. Marley Marl. I love Marley Marl. One of the best MCs ever. Excuse me, one of the best producers ever. But to be real with you, when it comes to like the Intelligent Hoodlum's first album, aka Tragedy Gaddafi, and stuff like that, Large Professor did half that shit, if not the majority, like half to majority of that shit. And you can tell the beats Marley Marl did, and you can tell the beats Large Professor did on that album and stuff like that too. Hell, Large Professor got shitted on him a lot of credits over the years. Let's talk about that one day. But my other honorable mention, I gotta go with surprisingly Ray Sherman with Strum Life. Let me be real with you.
What? Oh Lord.
Yeah.
2015 was a down year. You got them niggas on your list.
Honestly, this was actually a good album. I know another people might be surprised, but this was another group I actually kind of liked and stuff like that. No Flex, Zone. I remember when that song first came
Lord.
out.
They're still playing that shit. That shit is in the commercial now.
Yeah. No Type was pretty dope. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like a. I kind of put this on the same level as like the Country Grammar. It's like one of those pop hip hop albums I like just because I know I'm going to be entertained by it. You know what I'm saying? Even though I kind of prefer the Stream Life 2 album a bit over this one, you know what I'm saying? Because I know people are surprised at how I can like Kendrick and Ray Sherman, but I'm that kind of nigga though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised by that.
You said what?
I'm surprised by that.
Why are you surprised?
Ray Sherman. Oh Lord. This is the same. Wasn't it like one of them dudes tried to date Obama's daughter?
Yeah.
They had a thing for him? Oh
Yeah.
God. Obama should sentence him to prison.
And My last major honorable mention I gotta mention is Logic with the Incredible True Story. This is the Logic that I personally love. In my opinion, this is probably his most consistent album, keyword album, because I know people want to mention mixtapes and whatnot. I love songs, like motherfucking Paradise and Lord Will and Young Jesus and shit like that too. This is the Logic I fuck with. Before he started like being a public service announcement and just being more preachy. Even though I did like Vinyl Days, I did like that
That
album.
was fire. That's one of his best.
Right, he fell off again with College Park and whatnot too. Cause yeah, I don't know how
Now, see,
motherfuckers.
I like mainstream Logic though. Like Vinyl Days, College Park, the Everybody album. I like mainstream Logic.
Oh well,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
but
Like
but oh, go ahead.
mixtape Logic. When I hear like the Sinatra mixtapes and shit, all those beats sound the same. Like he used the same 808s for every fucking track.
I can't argue with you on that. I can't argue. But the thing about mixtape Logic, he was more versatile with his topics, though. That's one thing I liked
Mhm.
about him. But
But how many times does he have to mention that he's biracial? Everybody know that already.
I'm so tired of that shit, though.
It's like when you hear game name drop, it's like, bro, you've been doing this from day one. You don't need to do it no more. Like, well, Logic does that too much. I'm like, yo, we know you're fucking biracial. You don't need to say that in every track. It's almost like he wants to get a pass in hip hop because he's biracial.
Right.
Isn't Drake biracial? And he's like the biggest shit on the charts. You know what I'm saying? And Drake don't even mention him being biracial like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I like mainstream Logic. I think mainstream Logic has dropped great albums. And I feel like it's time for him to start using more associated producers. Like having Primo on Vinyl Days was a good look, and RZA, and I want to see him work with more legendary producers. You know what I'm saying? Like how Russ's did, and the thing is, I didn't fuck with Russ until he came out with the Chomp, series, and you see how that turned out when he can actually use legendary producers for your album, how people fuck with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The 808 shit. I don't want to hear Logic be on an 808 beat again, rapping fast. Like he's done that too many times already. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, for me, I fuck with mainstream Logic, but a lot of people love the mixtape Logic.
Agree. Yeah, those are my honorable mentions, boss.
I don't have none. I don't like 2015. I don't think it was a great year for hip hop.
Interesting.
Like I said, there was albums that I listened to, but to me, they wasn't great. Like Sour Soul was okay. I don't think it was great to be on this list. You know, the Drake and Future album, I only checked it out just to hear Drake with Future. I'm not a Future fan. Don't care for him. I think he's overrated as hell. That definitely wasn't going on the list. Neither was the other Drake project on that list. Odyssey, I like Odyssey. I think he's a bit overrated too. I don't like a lot of his albums. So I have no honorable mentions this time. It's first time ever. There's no honorable mentions for me.
Understandable. Well, all right. Well, I have a few announcements I gotta make before we head out. So this week is gonna be a little light week compared to some of the other weeks because I just need a mental relaxation, honestly. So Tuesday, we got the Mia Culpa movie review at 11 p.m. and whatnot. Lashia is gonna join us for that one. I'm gonna send her a reminder tonight.
That's gonna be a
Actually,
good one. Real spicy.
I don't know how you love that movie, but I'm gonna say what I gotta
I don't.
say.
I don't. I ain't say I love it. I said I like it because I'm not a Tyler Perry fan. But I don't know. I don't. I'm like, yo, if you watch the Roadhouse reboot, there's no way in hell you can tell me that Roadhouse reboot is better than Mia Cooper. I think Mia Cooper is a good movie. I think Kelly Price did her thing. So I don't understand the hate for it, and this is why we're doing a review.
All right. Wednesday, we're going to continue our segment on Beanie Wednesday. Just to let you guys know, I do get out of work a little bit late at 12 o'clock, so the review is going to be at 12:30, and we're going to go with The Reason in 2001. Really can't wait to talk about that album. Um, Also, too, my boy Christian sent a lot of requests for us and whatnot too. So I'm gonna do my best to go through all these requests the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? So one of the first requests he sent us was Father MC, the Sex by Law album and shit like that. So that's gonna be Thursday at I want to say Thursday at midnight
Okay.
and stuff like that. I want to say that for right now. Yeah, I think because I get off at 11 o'clock. So yeah, that should work. So that's Thursday and stuff like that. Yes, a Father MC review on this channel. That's gonna be interesting. But again, Christian is one of the regular contributors when it comes to the request, and I want to give a huge shout out to him and everything like that too because he definitely requested some good shit, which I'll let you know. He want us to do a double review. Just spoiler alert on KMD's two albums and stuff like that
Oh
too.
wow.
So yeah,
I want my money, Christian. What's good?
he already sent everything.
Oh, that's great, man. He at least he picking the right joints for us to review.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I refuse to do a Nelly review and motherfuckers ain't paying for that. That's not happening.
Well, I'm already going to do the first two. I don't really have no interest in talking about the other ones because I never really cared for the other Nelly albums. So
You doing all the Nelly albums?
I only have the first two, and that's all I need.
Oh,
He
yeah,
also, yeah, he also sent a couple more reviews. So these ones are going to be for April. He sent us a double review for UMC's those two albums, which I've never
oh,
heard
wow.
those albums. So
I heard the
that's
first one. I didn't hear the hardcore one in the was it 94 that came out?
oh yeah, that's when the Death Row Syndrome hit them.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to be. Because then they have a song called like Blue Pudding or some shit like that or some
Blue
weird
cheese.
blue cheese. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
That was
knew
the
it was
single.
something blue. Yeah. I'm trying to pull up the other request, but Cash App is being a bitch right now. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Kristen coming through, bro. I fuck with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, man. And just to let you know, Christian, I know you be sending me stuff like when I'm doing a review and shit like that. I be reading everything. Don't get me wrong and shit. Just that I be so focused on the reviews and shit like that.
We need to have him on for one of these reviews if he's requesting it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You
I'll
know,
talk.
like let me know what you think about the album. We got us reviewing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These motherfuckers act like they be scared and shit to come on live. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so he
DJ
also
scared.
we ain't gonna mention him right now. He also said, and this is the last one, the youngsters. I think the which album? Hold on 1 second, because I think he said for the hip hop ride one. Hold on,
No mercy. We did a review on that.
not that one, not that one.
Oh,
Hold on. I think the "I'll Make You Famous" album and the
oh, the
Illegal
last
Import.
one. Yeah. Okay.
Because I think I have that album. I know I have a lot of youngsters albums. Shout out to Hoovy, by the way, on some of them and stuff like that. I know I don't have the first album because that one's way hard to come by.
Yeah. Don't got
You
that
know,
one.
but yeah, man. We're gonna definitely do all those in April. And Christian, if you're watching this or if you ever watch this on the replay, you're always welcome to come on by. And like I said before, this is the last week of March, and I'm still doing $5 reviews and everything like that too. So every review this month is gonna be $5 and everything like that too to donate. Next month you can donate as much as you want. I usually do my donations no less than $20 and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But this month I'm trying to be nice to y'all because y'all always held us down. And Q, I'm still waiting on that fucking Restless review request that you want me to do because I ain't touching that album unless you sent the bread though. Cause
Wow.
I don't know, maybe one day I
You are
might.
willing to do Nelly over Restless? Restless is one of his best albums.
Uh to me that was the
What? You
beginning
don't
of
like
the end.
Restless? What?
Overrated.
Yo. Wow. That's crazy.
I've always said his first two albums are my favorite albums from Nelly. I mean, not Nelly, Exhibit.
Wow.
I don't say Restless is a bad album. I just say it was the beginning of the end because there was some shit I liked for Restless, but Niggas be hyping that album up. I'm just like, okay.
Listen, we'll be waiting forever. We might as well do that review already because this nigga have no light in his house, so
Right.
he's definitely not gonna play this to do no album. We'll be waiting forever.
Nigga try to shut the fuck up.
The light bill comes first.
Yeah, I know you got cash up, nigga. It's only $5 this. If you send it this month, I might review it this weekend.
The light bill comes first. You don't have enough. You know.
Anyway, couple more announcements I have to make, and I know I'm gonna wrap it up. I gotta get ready to go to bed. Gotta be up in like 5 hours. So next week also is gonna be the collection video too. Now I can already tell you guys, I already got some shit that I'm gonna have after the collection video. You know what I'm saying? The date is gonna be to be announced because I'm trying to get Ashley scheduled for work before we actually go down that route. You know what I'm saying? So what was I gonna say? So that's gonna be sometime next week. Also, I'm gonna try to do the Purple Rain review next week too. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Ashley was busy and shit like that, and I know I was gonna be busy this week too. So Purple Rain is gonna probably be next week, and I guess that's it. Honestly, Try, do you have anything you gotta say before we head out?
Justin Timberlake, quick review right now on my channel. My favorite tracks, my least favorite. I had to do a real quick review because we're not doing no review for that probably. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be doing that weekly.
You know.
Depending on,
You never know that.
yeah, right. No, you would do it just to trash the niggas. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do my own thoughts on his newest release. I think it's his best album since 2020 Experience. So that's up, and I'm gonna do like a weekly thing with that, depending on the type of films and albums and stuff that come out. Next Monday I'm not gonna be home. Also, I'm going to Monday Night Raw. The Rock is returning. WrestleMania weekend. I will be doing a WrestleMania review.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, me and Mike. Yes, WrestleMania 40 in Philly. We're gonna see Cody Rhodes about to beat Roman Reigns. I definitely got to talk about that. They screwed him over last year, but this year I believe he's getting the title. I will be doing a WrestleMania 4 review. R&B Reps, Mac Wild's album review coming. Follow their YouTube channel. That should be hopefully it'll be up the end of this month or early April. And yeah, a lot of great stuff coming.
All right, and I also forgot before we head out, I want to give a special happy birthday to Jalen as well too.
Yes.
Jalen, wherever you're watching this, hope you have a wonderful birthday and everything like that too.
He's on Tuesday.
Excuse me?
He's Tuesday, his birthday.
Oh, Facebook said it was today.
Oh, is it today? I thought it was Tuesday. I might be wrong, but yeah. Shout out to all the Aries, March Aries, April Aries. Yep.
Definitely. And like I said before, if you guys are just tuning in and whatnot too, we did our top 10 hip hop albums of 2015. Before that, we did a review on Queens, The Day at the Races. I feel like they re-released this album in 2011, so this album is still in print. It might be a bit hard to come by in some parts too, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, next week is News of the World, which all I have to say is boom, 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 boom.
My favorite one. My favorite one.
We ready for that one.
Yep.
Yes, and after the Purple Rain, we also going to do a movie review on Flash Gordon too. The week we get to 1980 Queen, but more news on that is going to be announced. So have a good night, Try. Appreciate this, bro.
All right.
And I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.